And welcome everyone to In the Cage with Bards here on Nextsportstar.com, uncensored and unscripted. I, of course, am your warm and convivial host, Carlin Bardsley, here to guide you through the next hour or so of mixed martial arts action. It is the most fun you can have without being punched in the face. Well, I hope everyone had a great holiday season. We are back live and back in a big way, and we're going to talk about UFC 155 and the results there within. Cain Velasquez, the new heavyweight champion. Adam Martin from Sportsnet will be on in the second half of the program to talk about that, but another heavyweight with a huge win at UFC 155 joins us now. He made his triumphant return with a first round KO win over Phil Duffee. He had an appetizer, Dana. Now you've got to let this man eat. Todd Duffee rejoins the program. How you doing today, Todd?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for taking the time today. I really do appreciate it. Just off the top, how great did it feel just to be back in the UFC cage again?
Man, it felt great. It was kind of relaxing and calming. It was just a comforting feeling. I know that sounds weird to hear, but it just kind of took a little pressure off almost. If that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, because this was a long road back for you. This is 2 years you were away. You only had a couple of fights in that time. So I can see that it would be kind of a Zen-like experience to get back to doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that was a big part of, that relaxing kind of feeling that I got from it.
Yeah. And did you expect another quick KO? I mean, this is seems to be your hallmark. That right hand in particular looked like it was really finding a home on Phil Duffee.
I wouldn't have been shocked if the fight would have been a grind. I had a feeling I was going to kind of grind him out, to be honest. I wasn't really counting on a big shot. It's a heavyweight division, so they happen, and they happen quite. Obviously, I didn't rule that out either, but I kind of expected, because he wanted to grapple, I was going to kind of let him a little bit. And I kind of expected a much longer, more grueling style fight, but I caught him early and I stayed on him and got the finish. So I can't be mad about that.
No, absolutely not. He did take you down early, but you bounced right back up again. Did scrambling back to your feet, was that a big part of the training, knowing that he is a jiu-jitsu guy?
Any fight, you don't want to end up on the bottom and stay on the bottom. That's a big part of almost every training camp. Everybody can kind of wrestle nowadays, so. You always have to be working on that.
Yeah. And you also walked away $65,000 richer with the KO with the night bonus. Getting a big check like that, that's not the worst thing in the world, is it?
No, I mean, that's great. It definitely helps your career. It can allow you to invest in it a little more. And it kind of helps you get through things. Awesome.
Absolutely. And just coming back to the UFC, does it feel like you're coming, full circle in a way in your career, in your life, anything like that?
I don't know, define what you mean by full circle, like just kind of being back to where I was. I guess so to some extent, I'm sure. It was always, just happened a little sooner than I expected, that's all, that's pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the last time we did talk, you were kind of in limbo, you were looking for a fight, and then a couple of weeks later, boom, you're back in the UFC. Did Joe Silva just call you out of the blue one day? Did you know that you were kind of on the radar for shortlist guys, or what?
No, I honestly thought I was looking at another year or so, but I lucked out obviously, so can't be too mad about it.
No, I guess not. And you were about to sign a kickboxing contract and head to Thailand before you got the call. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was pretty much what I was looking at doing. It made a little more sense financially at that point in time as far as the offers I was getting. So that was pretty much my path that I kind of was looking at.
Has Dana or Joe Silva, have they talked with you and told you the reasons behind your original release? Because I know the last time that we spoke, you're kind of at a loss for what happened.
No, I've not even had a chance to talk to him, to be honest. I said hello to him, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a real conversation with him by any means.
Okay, well, I want to read you a quote from Dana after the event and get your reaction to it. He says, speaking of you, I had a beef with him a little while ago. I felt like he didn't give a shit if he was in the UFC or not. So if you don't want to do business with us, then don't do business with us. We ended up bringing him back, and he's been great through this whole thing. I don't know if the guy needed to mature or anything. I just think that once you get into the UFC, some of these guys start to get like, this and that. I'm not being treated right. And when they leave, they're like, holy shit, it was actually pretty good over here. I think he's got potential. He looked good Saturday. We'll see. So how do you respond to that? Did having the time away from the UFC make you more appreciative of getting back?
Probably. I think I was always pretty happy that I was there. I don't, that was always place to be. That's why you sign with UFC. When you get that offer, you don't turn it down. I don't know. I think if you talk about like me maturing, maybe I've learned to present myself differently. But there's never really been a conversation there, so I don't fully understand. So it's not.
So at this point, you're just not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. You're back and you're doing what you want to do, and everything else will take care of itself. Am I right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't know, so I don't really care at this point. I'm happy to be back and I'm moving forward. So that's what matters to me.
Yeah. And when you look around the heavyweight division, is there anyone that you'd like to match up against? Not anyone you have a beef with necessarily, but just someone that you think that would make a good fight for you.
I think every one of those fights in the heavyweight division right now are pretty exciting. There's only like 29 guys on the roster, and they're all good. And they're all exciting fights. So I'll just be happy to get back in there either way. I'm not too worried as far as my next matchup. I just want to get one and kind of start building towards it.
Yeah. And the move to AKA has obviously paid dividends for you. Now that you've had the experience of preparing for an actual fight with them, is it safe to say that you've found the home that you've been looking for in the camp?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great camp. Guys show up every day, and that's hard. It's hard to get in the camp with heavyweights. You can get that with the lighter weight classes and stuff. The heavyweights, it's harder. It's harder to get them together. And it's great that we had that. We were able to work together like that.
Yeah, you had trained in Vegas before, of course, with Extreme Couture. Does training in Vegas kind of present you with a lot more distractions than you have in a place like AKA?
No, I don't really go out and do much, so it's not really that difficult for me. I'm not I don't like to party. I don't really drink. I don't gamble, so it's not really an issue,
Yeah.
And I think every city has the same distractions past those obvious things,
Yeah, very true. And AKA, now with 3 top heavyweights, Kane, of course, is the champ. Daniel Cormier will be in the UFC after his final Strikeforce fight. And you made your triumphant return. Could we see some AKA domination in the UFC heavyweight division?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be shocking. I think it's already kind of occurring with Kane right now. But I think DC will probably go down and try to take that 205 title now, to be honest. I think that's what he wants to do. He wants that belt. I definitely think he's good enough to get it, so...
Yeah, so that seems to be the plan, because Dana did kind of allude to that. Maybe Daniel will go down and fight John Jones, but he did have the problem cutting weight in the Olympics, which was a serious health concern. So you're saying, for as far as you know, that that wouldn't be an issue, and that's something that Cormier would be interested in doing?
Yeah, I think he was cutting a lot more weight at that point in time in his life, and so I think he doesn't have to make as light of a weight class, I don't believe, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I definitely think he's interested in doing it because he definitely wants a shot at Jones, is what it sounds like. But I don't know anything for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Kane and Cormier have already said they won't fight each other, so if Cormier wants UFC gold, that does seem to be his quickest way to get there, am I right?
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it, too. And I definitely think he wants that, and he knows he's more than capable of pulling that off. So.
Yeah. And obviously you and Kane were preparing for your fights at the same time. What did Kane's prep look like, and did you learn anything from watching and helping him prepare for the biggest prize in the sport?
Honestly, at that point, the bulk of his camp, except early on, I was in my own camp. So we helped each other. We did a lot of sparring and drilling and stuff together. But you're kind of focused on yourself at that point, to be honest. So it's kind of hard to watch someone else be coached, But I definitely, he's smart. He listens to his coaches, and he takes care of his body and makes sure he gets in there healthy. And that's one thing I definitely.
Yeah. And with Kane winning, does that kind of feel like a victory for the entire camp at AKA?
Yeah, we're a team, and that's really important to everybody at the camp. We were all banking on him winning and wanting him to win and pushing for his win.
Mm-hmm. And with Kane as the champ, a lot of people are already looking towards a possible Kane-Overeem matchup if Overeem beats Bigfoot Silva. You trained with the champ, you've faced off against and trained with Overeem in the past. So how does that one kind of shape up to you?
I think it's a good fight. It's probably the 2 best heavyweights out there. Getting ready for a fight. It's 2 different styles completely. So it's a really interesting matchup, of course. Especially at heavyweight when that finish can happen at any moment. But I think they're a good matchup for each other. I think, I think Overeem still has to get past Bigfoot, which is a pretty tough opponent himself. So we'll have to see how that shapes up first.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw your post-fight interview with the Ariel Helwani where you said that you would dress up as Duffman from The Simpsons for the weigh-ins next time if Dana okayed that, and if someone got you the costume. So has anyone taken up the cause as of yet to get the Duffman costume for you?
No, I really hope it doesn't occur.
No, so you're not a Duffman fan. That's just something that kind of got blown up on the UG, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Duffman's not even really. It's hard to be a fan of him. It's like a tagline.
Well, if we learned anything from this past year in the UFC, is that sometimes a good tagline and some trash talk can wind you up with a couple of title shots you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Well, you've also got the new website happening, ToddDuffeeMMA.com. I was just there. It looks great. How did that come about?
My brother and a friend of mine helped. They put it up right before the fight, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm just getting acquainted with it.
Well, it looks great, and people should definitely check that out. And just what's next for you, Todd? Have you had any talks with Joe or Dana about coming back and fighting again, or are you just taking a little bit of time for yourself right now? What's happening in the life of Todd Duffee?
I'm just trying to get my life in order and kind of get ready to start another camp, as soon as possible. I got to taking this week off to spend with my family and my friends, and then I'll get back and try to figure out my next fight or things like that. So it's just I haven't talked to them at all, so I'm kind of just in a waiting process, to be completely honest.
All right, and how did you spend your New Year? Obviously, you were flying on cloud 9 from the victory. How did you celebrate?
I was pretty tired for New Year's. I was at my girlfriend's house. She had a few people over, but nothing too crazy.
No.
I was on the couch by midnight.
So the bonus check escaped in one piece.
Yeah. That's got to get me to my next fight. We don't get paid a weekly check or anything like that, so you got to kind of be smart on how you spend your money.
Absolutely. Well, Todd, it was great to talk to you again, and congratulations on the win, on the bonus, and on the return to the UFC. I don't know what else to say to you, man. You really deserve it. It was great to see you back, and I can't wait to see you keep knocking out fools left and right. Just to tell people where they can find you on the Twitter, and we mentioned the website, and any other thank yous or shout-outs you want to give, this is your time.
I just want to thank everybody for the support. My website, yeah, you already mentioned that, and then I'm just at Todd Duffee on Twitter. But yeah, just thanks to my family and friends mostly. They're the ones that have kind of allowed me to be able to make it here, so definitely got to thank them.
Absolutely. Todd Duffee here on In the Cage with Bards on Nextsportstar.com, and we'll be back with more MMA action right after this.